Hi everyone, it's Jennifer Hoffman of EnlighteningLife.com, and in this video I want to talk to you about an ascension cycle and why I say that we are on a collective journey. So the ascension is the collective journey, but we're on an individual path. So each one of us is on our own path. Yes, we have props, and for our props we're going to use this sweet potato. Now I have a bunch of sweet potatoes here, and they are all going to be used to explain this process of ascension and why everyone goes at their own rate. So all the sweet potatoes I'm going to show you, I bought them on the same day. They came out of the same package. So they're basically from the same crop. And each one is different. So this is a whole sweet potato. Notice that it's just, there's no broken skin or anything. Now contrast it to this sweet potato. Again, it's the same package, which has sprouted. So each of these little plants is actually a new sweet potato plant. So I can cut them off, plant them in my garden, and they will grow into sweet potato plants, which is exactly what I'm going to do. So if I cut off the sweet potato plant with a little bit of the potato, stick it in some dirt, water it, I will have a big sweet potato plant with sweet potatoes in the bottom. Here, this one has a bunch. Again, this one has none. There's no little growths on this one, and they came out of the same package. So here we have one, and notice how the growth is pretty much towards the top. Now here's another one, and it has kind of little growths all over it. Again, they came out of the same package. Well, this is our ascension cycle. So here we have a multi-dimensional sweet potato. Now it has two uses. I can eat it after I cut this part off. I can cut this part off and plant it, and I can eat the rest, which is what I'm going to do. This one too, although it's got a little bit, I'm going to have to take bigger chunks out of it because you're not supposed to eat these things. They're actually poisonous. But I can cut the little growths off, and then I can eat the rest of the potato. But see how it has all these little growths on it? I mean, they're not just coming from the top like this one. They're kind of all over. So this is like an expanding awareness. So when we expand our awareness, we become not more conscious. Conscious is a word that's used to describe someone whose eyes are open and they're breathing. We are talking about awareness. This is expanding your reality, becoming more aware, becoming more aware of what's going on around you, seeing new potentials, seeing new possibilities, because the 3D reality is linear. It's a straight line. You go from point A, you end up at point B. But a multidimensional awareness is multidimensional. So you can describe 3D as consciousness, your eyes are open and you're breathing, and 5D as awareness. Your eyes are open, you're breathing, and now you see all these possibilities and all these different things around you. I have one more sweet potato. So I have one sweet potato, and it's got one tiny little growth on it right there. So it's expanding its awareness. It's not nearly as big as this one, which is actually the biggest one of all the growth, or this one that has little growths all around it. It's just sticking its neck out and seeing what else is possible, and maybe there's something else out there. And then contrast it to this one that has absolutely no growth on it. It's content to stay where it is. But if this one doesn't grow and I don't eat it first, what happens is if it doesn't grow anything, because eventually everything goes to seed. So if you store root vegetables, you know that by the end of the storage season, by the time actually the next crop becomes ripe, these go to seed. They'll all sprout new potatoes. And this isn't bad. So there's no good or bad here. But what happens to us is when we are the multidimensional person that has expanded awareness, and we come into contact with someone who has no expanded awareness and is not multidimensional, they're still in their 3D paradigm, there is literally no connection. And I wrote about this yesterday on my Facebook page because I had an encounter like that with someone who was completely closed to new beliefs, to new potentials, who had absolutely no desire to expand their awareness. And it was a very uncomfortable transaction. So she was as uncomfortable with my expanded awareness as I gradually became uncomfortable with her, because we had literally nothing to talk about. And we couldn't get to a point of any kind of connection or any kind of agreement, because everything I said conflicted with what she believes, conflicted with her reality. And somebody wrote, you know, it's all about compassion. Well, of course I have compassion, but I also can't connect. I mean, having compassion, I have compassion for everyone. That's a very general kind of emotional energy. But when it comes down to connection and collaboration and communication and those things, you need to have some point of connection. And that's what happens when you have someone who is fully grounded in a 3D reality, completely closed off to any new potentials, any beliefs, anything that changes any part of their reality or expands their awareness in any way. When you have that person and someone who's open to new potentials and possibilities and really wants to explore new avenues of potential for themselves and shine their light and expand their energy field, these two people do not connect in any way. And this is what I call energy gaps. And we're going to see many more of these energy gaps as we move forward through this year and into next year. And we're seeing that now too in mainstream world as we're, we have people talking about, governments and alternative media and fake news media and all of those things. And people are starting to wake up to, hey, I have been living in this world. I really need to be paying attention to this one because this is where everything's happening. And we're seeing that everywhere. But what's happening is where once this sweet potato looked like this one, now this sweet potato doesn't look like that one anymore, and these two don't connect anymore. And the more this one grows, the more you grow and awareness and expand your energy field, the greater the energy gap happens between the people who aren't there. And I'm going to say they aren't there yet, but that's actually not even true. They may never be there. They may be happy to spend the rest of their lives like this. Meanwhile, you have a choice. You can continue to expand your awareness, or you can try and connect with these people who will want to have nothing to do with you. So the people who think, and a couple of them have written on my page that the kind of comment in this general direction that we can connect to anyone. Sorry, not true. When you are in an expanded level of awareness, you cannot connect to people. And you have experienced this in your life. It's very frustrating. It feels very empty. It feels very unfulfilling because there really is nothing for you to talk about. In generalized terms, and I'm not insulting anyone, it would be like you as an adult talking to a newborn infant who doesn't talk back to you because they can't talk yet. What do you have in common with that infant? Well, you're both humans. And you're both people, and you once started as an infant, but you're not an infant anymore. You're a grown adult, and basically over the the very general conversations, basic wooing and awing over the baby, there's nothing to be said, and there's no connection to be made. And this is again the widening energy gap that happens between the people who firmly say and choose to be grounded in that 3D reality, and the rest of you who are expanding your potential and going into new areas of awareness. That gap gets bigger and bigger, and you will keep on moving into new levels of expanded awareness. They have to choose whether or not they're going to make that choice at some point in time, and they may never do that. That doesn't impact you. You're the shining beacon of light. You're shining brightly over here. Eventually, they may want to come over and see what it's all about, or they may just go over here and go, shut that light off. It's too bright, and you're hurting my eyes. It has nothing to do with you. And this is where, like I said, energy gaps become more important. They're actually going to become much more obvious because you're moving out of that reality. You're sprouting. You're getting more multidimensional. And, for some of you, you're sprouting all over. So you have all kinds of new interests and insights and thoughts and desires, and that's wonderful. But you're never, once you do this, you're never going to be that straight 3D person again. So if this is happening in your life, and I'm sure it is, don't worry about the people that you cannot connect with, because it really has nothing to do with you. It's about their choice. When they decide or choose, and again, they may never do that, but if they decide, hey, there's really cool stuff going on over here, I'm going to make my way over there and see what that is all about, that's when they'll join you, and that's when a new level of connection can be made. Until then, the more you expand your awareness, the greater that energy gap becomes, and that's just the way it is. So no, you can't connect to everyone. And if you have these connections in your life and they're extremely frustrating and they're uncomfortable, just know that that's because of the energy gap between you. Keep on moving forward. Keep on shining that light. And eventually you will find other people, let me go look here, other people like you that can connect with you because you're both multidimensional with an expanded awareness. And the rest of them will eventually, again, or not, decide that they want to join you. This is Jennifer Hoffman of enlighteninglife.com. I hope you enjoyed the video and the props. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.